Hello and welcome. We are streaming some Trash Heist today. Can I ever decide to, I can like have talkback on my mic where I can hear it, and it helps to like hear myself to some degree, but when that's on, it's like blasting. So I got to figure out a way to like be able to control the volume of that in my headphones specifically, but not the overall volume. Because if I turn it down, y'all can't hear me. But, so if you ever see my headphone off my ear, it's because I need to hear myself at a controlled volume. But yeah, we are doing some coding today. I'm enjoying some music, which is why I have headphones on. I don't know, like, hold on, can I I just have Spotify on. It seems like a random mix. Actually, yeah, like, because I have no idea who this artist is. But it's chill. It's kind of jazzy, which fits with the Trash Heist theme. But yeah, so today specifically, we are working on a new spawning system. Previously, and I've worked on this a bit in the past stream, I think, but previously you would spawn, originally, like when we got spawning first going, you would spawn just from like the players were already in the game, the avatars, I should say, and then when you sent commands from your input device, it would just find the right player. Then I switched it to your input device would spawn. There's like a button to spawn in your player, and that was all working well. But now we're going to be doing like teams and kind of game, like a game manager that will be like pacing when the spawn should happen, not at players' will. So we're switching it back to where the game itself, the host, will be controlling spawns. The players won't already be in the scene, so you won't have your avatars in the scene, but it will choose when to drop them in. And I think we're pretty close. I'm just working through some bugs. So let's see if we can get there. I really can't figure out when Discord becomes aware of the streams. Like, I just popped in and I'm like, I don't see the announcement that I'm streaming. Okay, but let's do the thing. Oh, we need to pop open stream avatars. I thought I could open it with that. Yeah, there we go. I like it. I actually don't have to open up Steam to open it, which is nice. As much as I love my Steam games. And we will have some new avatars coming in shortly. Let me see if I can pull up the image. Download. Sorry, I'm gonna download this guy and then I can show y'all. Spoilers. Just trying to have it open up. There he is. So, yeah. Though, I mean, honestly, like, the current raccoon's also very charming. Like, our new guy, he's going to be a little derpier. Fits the art style of the game a little closer. But our original raccoon is very, very cute as well. Okay, let's get this dancing guy. Yeah. Out of here. Okay. Okay, total players in game. We need to set this. That now lives in game settings. Easy peasy. And we don't do this. What is this? A player loaded. I don't actually know if this callback would happen at the right time because I'm not sure when this happens, and I have a hunch it might happen before the scene is loaded that contains a script. So we're just gonna say nah. Let's not do it through that way. Maybe I'll comment it out in case I change my mind later and don't have to hunt for that event. Okay, let's see if that fixes the bug I was having earlier. No, we still got one more reference to total player count. Let's fix that. Actually, yeah, should be fine. Hey, what's up, Rose? I don't know. I don't have. I guess I'm just Dev House on here, and then in Discord I'm just my name. I don't even have a screen name. On video games, I tend to go by Kaponas, which is like a name I used for Star Wars Galaxies MMO many a year ago when I was a wee child, and it was fun. I loved that game. There was a lot of like mystery because you couldn't like pick to be a Jedi, which like before then, like all Star Wars games, it's like, yeah, you just play as a Jedi because they're the hero, right? Like that's cool. You just play as a Jedi. And then that game came out and it was like, there will be Jedi at some point, but we will not tell you how to become one. And then every like kind of after a while, the game being out, you eventually started seeing Jedi come in. And what was cool is they obfuscated the way people became Jedi. So it was like a weird combination of like something like you had like master 3 skills because it was one of those skill trees where you can be multiple things. It wasn't like you picked one class, but you could like learn skills from everything. And so it was like if you became a master, I think in 3 separate areas, and I think it didn't matter which, just 3 of any. And then you had to like do a couple other random things, and then it would wait and not unlock it for like X time, so you wouldn't even realize like, oh, it happened when I did this. So even when you became a Jedi, you didn't even know like what you did. And so like that was a cool thing, and there was just a lot of discovery, like a lot of surprises like you'd find, and I don't know, it's a really cool game. Anyway, that was my screen name. I got it from like a name generator for like Star Warsy sounding names. I was a Twi'lek, and that, yeah. So now I use that. I know, super exciting story. Okay, let's see if we get our character spawns in. Oops, let me switch to this one. So in just a moment, yeah, when that counts down, we should see 2 spawn in if it works right. It did not. Okay, we got an error though, so that's fine. Let's hunt down that error. Index out of range. Okay, so for this, one of these values is problematic. So either randomized turn order is not populated, or that number is weird. I'm going to guess that the turn order is not populated properly yet. Okay, so, oops, I always forget to click over. So yeah, we have a new list. I read well, not a lot, but I read some fantasy growing up, a little bit of sci-fi, but I don't know that specific writer. But that's cool. I like names that come from somewhere. I'm trying to drink tea tonight because I tend to drink an energy drink midday, and I was about to like open a Red Bull. I was like, I probably shouldn't drink 2 energy drinks in a day and have that become a new habit. So trying tea. Man, NVIDIA, the new NVIDIA update, every time I stream, it pops up this like high GPU warning. Actually, look, it's right. Oh, my body's blocking it. Yeah, but it's like high GPU load, disable effects, or close apps. But it seems to be okay. I don't know. Nothing bad happens, so I just ignore it. My poor video card is crying. I have 2 ultra wide screens and then a vertical monitor, and so that's probably why. I built myself a cool screen setup. Though it really sucks for like being on Zoom calls and stuff because I can't share my monitor because then it like squeezes it really tiny. So I have to like work around that, which is kind of annoying. Okay, randomized turn order. Looks like we still haven't assigned it. Where is this thing getting assigned? Okay, right here. So generate random order. Oh, okay. So see, we have game settings, total players in game. That was the thing we just fixed, but I think I didn't actually put a number there. So if we go to our, so right now total players in game is 0. So let's put 6. I will need to make this dynamic so that way it actually knows how many people are in the game, but let's make sure this works first. Okay, good. So I think that did what we needed to do. We got 2 characters in, player 4 and player 6. We got player 4 versus player 6. That worked well. They're both without a class, but that is actually correct because we want the player to select the class. When I'm in offline mode, I kind of wish they would be assigned already. So for debug purposes, or for testing purposes, I might want to check if in offline mode, give them a random class. But let's double check and make sure that they have the right team number. So we can see here player 4 is on team 1 and then player 6 is on team 2. That's great. Let's unpause and make sure it goes through the round and everything goes correct. I can hit spacebar to launch them. They won't do anything though because they're no skills. So in a second they'll disappear. That shouldn't happen in the other. Oh no, okay, good, that's fixed. They're not disappearing, which I don't want them to. All right, player 5 is player 1. Looks great. So far so good. We're still in round 1. You can see it says round 1 over there. After this though, it should switch to round 2 because now all 6 players have gone once this expires. Awesome. You can see we also have damage points now, basically how much damage you've done to the house. We've hardly done any damage because of the fact that we're having no skills, so we can't break through the doors. The only points we're getting is when this player hits pegs, which is these little 25 pointers. Okay, well that seems to be working wonderfully, so that's great. Let's now go ahead and switch to our mobile view and make sure that we can actually control this thing from a device. Where is that? Okay, so right now we're getting all 12 positions, which we probably want to limit it to just the 6. But the first order of business is we need to make sure that the buttons don't spawn players in anymore, because that is now purely owned by the host. Looks like we have some compile errors. Let's see what we got. I think these are just the changes we just made on the other instance of Unity. So if it is, I can just push those. Yeah, it is. Okay. So let's even close that, and then we're going to open up source tree. Oh my gosh, I totally saw that game too. That's really weird. It popped up in my algorithm. It looks hacky as heck. Like it looks, but I could see it being fun. But yeah, it was like they're leaning into the jank for sure. Oh, I also saw Monaco 2 is in development. And it's going to be in a total, like in a 3D art style. And like, yeah, so that's interesting. So yeah, I think my algorithm knows I'm working on a heist game because it keeps throwing heist stuff my way. Okay. Let's see, we're gonna stage that. Stage that. Okay. Oh, I need to pull first. That won't do me any good. Okay. Once this compiles, it should be good to go. Yeah, I should still totally play that Penguin Heist game anyway, just to see. It does involve sneaking. It's not purely just run in and shoot things, so. In the new Monaco trailer, it was showing the different classes, and there's like a class that's basically just like the muscle. So if you don't want to be stealthy, you can just go in and like beat people up with that character, which I think is good. Like if players, for whatever reason, don't want to play that role, they can, or play the sneaky role, they can do that. All right, let's see what these buttons do exactly so we can edit that. So it looks player side node manager, submit button to host. All right, where? All right, submit button to host. All right, so as long as we have lives, we highlight, we change the interactability, and then here we're sending a command. So let's see what this command does. We're sending the current target node and the actor. Player move node command. All right, I gotta pop open the quantum solution. Yeah, we need our solution explorer. Okay, oh, shit, I forgot what it was. It was player move node command. Okay, so that calls the event player move to new node. Okay, so now if we look back in Unity, we can follow that trace. Why you no find? It's been difficult. Let me try. It wasn't performing the search at all. Let's try that again. I don't know why it's being difficult. It's not set to be an exact match, but that's just not finding anything, which I don't, but look, normally it'll say like can't find or something. Like, yeah, my search just is straight up not working for some reason. That's fine. I think I can figure it out. I think it was in the player movement, playback gyro movement. Okay, so player move to new node. We have changed skill. Entry time changed. I'm kind of curious if I can search for a thing that... Yeah, okay, so maybe it really doesn't exist. Maybe I deleted it. So we want to add it back in then, if that's the case. I might have taken it out just so that way I could not accidentally spawn characters I didn't want to. So what was the command again? Player move to new node. Okay, and then we'll make a class something like move to new spawn point, because we need to start calling these spawn points because that's what we call them now. All right, so let's make that exist. I think we already have a move player. Let me, yeah, move player to new node. So we'll put it by this. You have to get the event type as the callback. All right, so first thing we want to do is do callback if callback dot actor number equals player ID, which is the locally stored value that we determine as their actor number. So if it is the actor number, we will, which you can see also here, turn that ended, player reset, yep, that's all that kind of stuff. Actor number, then that is this player, and then we simply just do this. Player move to new node, and it would be position to move to would be callback dot node ID. So we need to find that node in the collection of possible nodes. Okay, so the nodes, that means that we need to get the spawn points. Let's see if that exists in this script already somewhere. I do see a reference to spawn here. Oh, but that's from update gravity. It's in a different script. Yeah, those come from different places. Okay, not helpful there. Spawn. So it's looking like we don't have a reference to the spawn points. I'm not sure. Hold on, let me look that up. It looks like it does. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that's what those are called. I thought that was okay. Am I just being dumb? Is that just increment decrement? Wait, arithmetic, that's not what I typed in. This guy. Ah. Yes. Those always confuse me, and so I don't. For me, readability, they're not super strong, but every now and again I'll use them. I totally have used those before. Yeah, it's normally when it just the code looks ugly without it, but yeah. I just always forget exactly, like just glancing at it, how it works, and so I don't use them a lot. But yeah, well, good. I thought I was just being stupid because I've never actually heard unary before, but apparently that's the thing. So I learned that today. But yeah, you can totally do ternary in Unity C#. Okay, we are moving to spawn point. We need to get all the spawns. There's an object in my scene that has a reference to all the spawn points. We're gonna have to find it because this script spawns in, so it's not around at the beginning of the round. I'm gonna be a little bit bad here, and I'm just gonna, every time we need to move, we'll just get all the spawn points if we don't have any. That'll be like a little protection. So let's put a holder up here, and we will call, let's organize it actually. References. It'll be a private reference because it's not contained within the prefab. And we'll call this, it's going to be a private list of spawn points. Okay, and then what we'll do is if the count is 0, if spawn points dot count equals 0, then that means we have not found any yet. This is production code. Would you personally objectify the configs by groups? I'm trying to think of what you would mean by objectify. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, oh yeah, objectify. Yeah, I was like, do we objectify our scripts? Yeah. So like, normally for Unity, I like using scriptable objects. Or scrobs, sometimes we shorten it too. So things like game rules would be scrobs. Certain things like spawn points might not be, just because those are game objects in the scene. So I think it depends on like case to case basis, but some of these things would definitely be scrobs. And even something like spawn points, we would, like, I have a class that has a reference to them somewhere else, but just to like avoid a race condition where it's like, when I ask for it, it hasn't found them yet, I'm just gonna like grab them here. But yeah, config objects are amazing, and I actually really like that because then you can change rules and stuff so easily and iterate on that, and it's very clean. Our game, Our Tribe Above All, that we were working on for a long time, has a ton of scrob architecture, and yeah, there was some stuff that we wrote that got messy, but that part of it was really nice. Okay, so if there's 0 spawn points, then we will do spawn points equals find objects by type. Thankfully, we want all of them. Oh, I need to do sort order if I'm not mistaken. Sort mode dot. Doesn't tell me what the sort modes are. Oh, I think it's find objects of type. I wish it would autocomplete this because I don't know. There we go. Yeah, I should not have to scroll to the bottom to the only enum ones. It is trying to take. What did I define it as? List of spawn point. Is it because it needs to be an array and not a list? I swear I've done this way. Hold on, let me find another example where I did this. Oh yeah, I guess it does need to be an array. Okay. Well, never mind. I like never use arrays because I always modify my things, and arrays don't like to be modified at runtime. I want to define it though. Up here. Oops, not like that. It's a spawn point. I think that's how it likes to be syntaxed. Yeah. That has to be length. Okay, cool. So now, if we don't have anything in that collection, I bet there's like an empty, but this works too. Then we go ahead and find them all. So thankfully, if a player keeps moving, it's not going to like continually keep finding that, because that'd be pretty expensive if they spammed that. Yeah, in C#, it doesn't like to. You can't modify the length. I can definitely like change items in the indexes, but I can't like make it bigger or smaller. Which here I just assign it to a fixed size, I guess, so it's okay with that. Okay, so now we have all of our spawn points, and we can do this to clean the code up a little bit. And then we can do, what do we do? We say for each spawn, we're basically just looking for the ID here. So if spawn point dot ID, or dot, yeah, get identifier, that's right, equals callback dot node ID, and that means it is the correct node, and we now have a valid position, so we can send a move command. What is your problem? Oh, so it wants position, so that's cool because we have the position now. Or sorry, we have the node, so we can now say transform dot position. Okay, that should work. I'm trying to remember what broke that made us realize I had to do that. I think I just was looking at, that's right, we were looking at the code for when you call it. So once the event gets called, it should call this move to spawn point. We'll find the right spawn point and we will move. Let's try it out. We will have to connect our two players. All right. Let's top to this view. I don't think I changed the net code, so I don't think I need to actually send my changes across the network, or sorry, across source tree. I just changed who receives the event, which is okay. Let's go to main menu. There's one thing that I'm pretty sure is broken, which is the actor ID number. I think it's one number off, so I need to fix that in a minute. So we may see an error, but let's try it first before we make too many assumptions. Okay, main menu. Okay, so we should see two players spawn in. And then we will try to move one. Again, I'm pretty sure it won't find it, but let's try it. All right, we got 2 players. And I'm going to say move. It does not work. Yeah, it does not. Oh, okay, hold on. That's changing. Okay, let's pause for a second. And let's dive into looking at actor number IDs, because the skill was actually updating the correct one, which means it did find the ID. Did I end on none? That's very inconvenient. Yeah, I did end on none. Let's unpause and change that class really quick. Oops, I had one pause and not the other. I don't know if that'll totally have broken things. I think I totally broke things. Okay, I swear. Yeah, maybe just by pausing in the middle, I broke things. Okay. So I think, like I said, I think the actor number is 1 off. And the reason I think that is because all of our host player, like the player that runs the kind of map itself, it's player 1. And then everyone else is 2 and up. When we wrote the script that spawns the players in, I didn't really take that into account. It's just like we start from player 1 and work our way up. So I think there's 2 ways to go about it. We could just numerate the callbacks. I think I'll do that because I don't want to change the spawning, because like it bases the team they're on even and odd numbers and all sorts of stuff. So I want to I don't want to mess with that. So let's look at let's close these solutions down so I don't get confused on which instance I'm looking at. And then let's open up the host code. And so here you can see, for example, like when actually, I don't know if you can really see it here. Team ID, yeah, it's team ID, it's not the same thing. Where is Game State Manager? Okay. So I bet if I scrolled around here, we'd see somewhere. Maybe. So this actor number. Yeah, so these actor numbers, if I can find where they're created. Yeah, spawn in needed players. Player to spawn in comes from active players, which comes from get new team pair. Yeah, this script is a little bit hard on readability. But basically, if you go all the way up to the top, you can see like these start at 0, right? So like that influences everything. It's way up. So let's go into the receiving side of the call. So when it goes to move the character and it's like listening for like, hey, are you talking to me? Which are the only 2 times you can really interact. You set the skill and you launch the player. So let's just update that. So instead of actor number, it should be actor number +1, which we could probably also do in the command, but let's just do this for now. So yeah, we've actor number +1, so that skill change should work now, which it did for a second. It could have been because it was player 1 versus player 2, and that would have made it work deceptively. So yeah, we can change class. We can also, we don't actually use end of turn or turn reset, or set delayed entry. We do use a launch player. Oh, this is interesting. I'm not seeing the move command that we just did. Maybe I did that on the other Yeah, this is where it gets messy. Okay, hold on. Let's do source tree and get our two versions in sync. All right, what did we change on this one? Just the scene, don't care about that. And then on this, really, that's it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this gyro movement, yeah, we need this. Added move command. So actually, I think the reason why it didn't work might have just been because we didn't have the move command on the host to listen. Like, it wasn't getting the command. It didn't know to move. Okay. So let's pull. Okie dokie. So then in that case, let's leave off the actor number change and just make sure before we change things that it's needed. Okay, we'll wait for them to spawn in. Okay, so let's change the skill. Okay, one problem is we don't have two characters, which is not cool. Why did that happen? Okay, new bug. Let's see if one of these. Okay, we did get. Okay, we got an error. So for some reason, it didn't like this. It said this was a null ref. So either. So I didn't do an if here. I probably should have. So either like this came back wrong and we didn't, it tried to get it, but it failed. And so this never came out. Or we don't have the text assigned. We can check that. I think I'm just clicking through really quick on the class to see. Okay, no, the name does look assigned, at least on the character that spawned in. Okay. Because what I think would have happened is like it spawned the first player and then it hit here and null refed, and so then therefore never went to the next player to spawn. Okay, so then that to me tells me that this failed, which means maybe the actor number was off. The player ID for this character says 5. I think it's off by one error. So I really should be doing this. So that way we don't get the null ref and the other player would have spawned in, just the name would have been default. But let's see, where's this actor number assigned? It's their player ID. And then we go to the network and say, hey, who is that? So I think this is one where if we do +1, I should also print the actor. Actually, wait, hold on. The actor number is 5 because I can see it over here. So if it's 5, wait, why would it be 5? Oh, I just discovered an issue with the whole system. So I'm assigning actor numbers kind of willy-nilly. Like I'm just like, hey, you're actor 2, you're actor 3, but like that's not right. Like there is an actor number that is identified. Like I'm actor number 2. That the real number is number 2. So, oh, I know. Okay. I'm telling the game there's 6 players, but there really isn't. There is 1 player, and it can't find the other 5. So if I don't know if it'll work with 1 player because it's teams. Because what could happen, since I'm player 2, if it's player 3 versus player 6, like I won't be able to do anything, but I guess I can just wait till my turn shows up. As long as all these null refs just don't break the code. Let's try it. But I'm pretty positive that is the issue. Because it generates, it generates actors based on how many people I said would be in the game, and I'm hard coding that to 6 right now. Let's do play. Do FBQV. All right, so we're waiting for this to say player 1 versus somebody else, and then it should work. If not, then we have that off by 1. 5 versus 4, so this should not do anything for me. When you can see it doesn't respond, and that's as I would expect, because I am not player 5 or 4. I am player 2 if it's correct, player 3 or 1 if it's incorrect. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I should be able to move. Okay, hold on. Let's pause. We are getting somewhere. So I don't know why it added the pound sign. Number 2, Jim, versus number 1, player. That's interesting. But it didn't seem to let me do the right things. Like I moved to spot 3. No one's in spot 3. I selected hacker. Interestingly enough, the player on 5, their name got changed to blue. But you can see the name over here on the left is Jim. So I'm going to click in. So I think this is the correct one, because I think what I'm doing to put the names is the old system. So, okay, so this is player 1, which is kind of who I would want to be, because I'm the only player, so I'd like it to be player 1. Who are you? You are player... Oh, y'all can't see where I'm clicking. Who are you? You are player 4, which shouldn't even exist unless I didn't launch the last round. And then you're player 2. Okay, so because this is player 2, it kind of made sense that when I changed the class that would have turned blue, but I would have also expected the avatar to turn blue. And so that's kind of odd. And I also would have expected him to move when I pressed the different positions. So let's look at some of the null refs, see if any of that helps. It's like there was one here that seems relevant. If it'll open. All right, line 216. Interesting. So it couldn't find spawn points. But it's locally... That's weird, because spawn points is defined at the top. as just an empty array. And then we look for the length. Now, if it's an empty array, can it not have a length? Like, that would be weird to me that throws an error. It should just have a length of 0. Is empty. So I can just say, yeah, I guess we'll try that. I was saying that I didn't think I needed to do that, but maybe I do. Yeah, it should be in scope because it's declared at the very top. So right at the top, it's set. Yeah. It's the only place in this script. Yeah. So let's try, yeah, is null or empty? Let's see if that fixes our problem. I do need to probably fix that, like the number of players is based on who's in it, but it would be harder to test right now, like the teams thing, because I'm only one player. All right, let's see what players we get. Sweet, it's good luck. Hey, okay, I moved and my class is changing. All right, so let's pause it to double check it's moving who we think we should move, but I'm moving somebody. Of course, we have 1 and 2, which is kind of bad luck because that means... Actually, yeah, this is good and bad. If it was like player 1 and 7, then it would be like, oh, either nothing moved, but now we know one of these is right. So this player has the name. This player is moving and being recolored. So like this is a player we seem to actually have control over, who is player 2. So we are controlling player 2, which makes sense to what I said earlier, that like I'm technically the host is player 1 and the first active like real human player is 2. So we need to move all of our callbacks down 1. Wait, this is 2? Yeah. So whenever we talk, if I'm player 2, I want to actually be looking for player 1. Okay. That's easy fix, and that should make it work, which is great. I don't know why the names are all funky, but we can come back to that in a second. The names being the ones at the bottom, like Jim versus player 2 or whatever it had. It has that pound sign, which is odd to me, but I will look into that in a second. Let's first fix our... I'm closing that just because I don't want to put it on the wrong instance. The worst thing about working with Quantum 2 is that you have to have like all these different solutions open. And it's very easy to lose track. At my work computer, I actually put stickies on each monitor and like sections of the monitors to like write down like Unity Mobile Quantum and then Unity Mobile View mode and like all these things, so I know like on this part of the screen this is where this is at. All right, let's look in the player gyro movement. And we basically just want to check our commands, or sorry, our events here. We care about the skill, and we just want to go actor number -1. Yeah, that's right. There's a player ID, or we could do it the other way and do +1 on player ID. Either ones should work the same as long as we're not referencing this anywhere else. Okay, none on that one. And move to spawn point. We want to do the same thing. Player ID +1. Okay, so now we have move and skill change, which are the two main, but I think there's also launch player, which is important. Player ID +1. Okay. Hey, what's up, Mary? Now we should be good on that. We might as well look into the name thing while we're here. That was on, I think, Game State Manager. So I think if I just search for verse, yep. Okay, so first player is the output of getting. Oh, that's why, because it needs to be .nickname. Easy fixes. I love easy fixes. Perfect. Okay, let's hop over. It's going good. We're fixing things and not being stumped, which is always nice. And I also totally do that, Rose. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna risk this being wrong and my math being bad. All right, let's pop that open, and then let's pop our phone on there. Did that, and mostly, Mary, I do just stream indie development. And so, yeah, this is a game that I'm building. I do want to maybe start streaming just like playing games. But most of the time, I have to kind of choose in my times that I have available if I'm going to work on my game or play other people's games. And working on my own tends to win out because there's always so much to do. There's never enough time. All right, so I'm neither of these players. So even if I did stuff, nothing would happen, which is what we want. All right, there we go, Jim first player. So now I should be able to go and release. Yeah, okay. Ooh, though that position was wrong. Okay, I'll wait till my next turn, but what looks like it happened is I didn't have the right rotation. So like you can kind of see, it's a little hard to see, but the right arm is pointed up to show which way is right, and it seemed like when I moved, it didn't update the rotation. Let's see, I'm not in any of these. It's still, let me get those guys out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to go to 10. That looks right. Let me launch. I think he'll launch the right way this time because yeah. The next turn, I'm going to try to go over to this right side and see if it still breaks. Oh, is that the match? Round 4. Oh, okay. I didn't get another turn, but I feel like I should have. Okay, couple things we need to fix here. There isn't, and it's somewhat intentional. So we found it was kind of fun when the raccoons would be like stuck against a door that they couldn't open, and then you come in with the raccoon that can open it, and then suddenly they're all released. It was actually pretty satisfying. We also talked about making a class that actually like launches the raccoons in the air, so you could like, if you pick that class and bumped into a raccoon who was stuck, it would like launch it up, and we thought that might be fun. So the things that I think are going on there is there was a weird rotation issue that I didn't get to test. And actually, let me write these down because there's like a few things that I saw and I don't want to forget. Where's my notepad? Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah. So how many story points is this worth? What I already forgot. What am I adding? So one issue was that I didn't get enough turns. I think I got 2, and there was 4 rounds, so that seems wrong. And then the other issue was the rotation. Rotation one time was wrong, very specific. Oops, what am I? Okay, so what? Oh, I'm on that screen. There we go. Let's do that. Where is? I feel like all of these windows are. There we go. So yeah, I didn't get enough turns. Rotation one time was wrong. One time is very specific, but and then let's see, the launch worked fine. It was just the rotation was off. That's why it came out weird. The other time the rotation was on, the launch worked. I think it was just those 2 things. I didn't get. I thought there was one other thing, but I guess if it's an issue, I will see it again. Let's see where the rotation is set, because maybe there's like an obvious issue. It should be when we place our person down, which, if I can find, yeah, the names worked well, so that's good. Oh, that was it. I thought of another issue that it wasn't an issue I saw, but that I realized was going to be a problem. I have too many windows. Nope, not that one. This one. So the whole thing is like you have a limited window to make your turn, but I realized like if you are still on that starting spot, you can wait as long as you want. There is no actual, hey, what's up, Aiden? There's actually no reason or like no penalty for like not going during your turn. And in fact, then that whole spawner is just going to get crowded. For internal testing, we could just be like, hey, please don't do that. But it would be nice if we could, like, if you are on the spawn point, when the round ends, we should delete you. Like that raccoon does not get to go, or it auto launches. That might be better. Just like whatever class you picked, whatever spot you picked, if your time runs out, it just goes. So we'll say auto launch raccoon if on spawn point on time expire. Oh, and then the final thing, so much to do, would be we should block UI when it's not your turn and present. Well, we can figure out what we want to look at. I was thinking like it should say whose turn it is. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, there's almost like a penalty class. If like you didn't pick, you by default become the lazy raccoon. That'd be funny. Okay, let's go and work on these in order. I might skip the block UI for now, just because that's going to be a more time-consuming thing. Because I have to build a UI and all this stuff and send commands over the network, which I'd have to write commands and events for. But let's fix the didn't get enough turns. Actually, I lied. Let's work on the rotation first. So if we look at our player playback gyro movement. When we move the player, that's when we should be updating their position, which comes from move to next spawn point. Okay, so yeah, we're just checking for the spawn points. Once we find the spawn points, we look for the right identifier, and then we move. That is the problem. We simply set position. So I need to figure out where the heck before, because I definitely was setting rotation and gravity previously. But it kind of surprises me to discover this, because I would have thought that that would be in place. When does this get called? Move to spawn point. Who'd be calling this? Okay, well now this is just confusing. So the spawn new player. Who calls that? So really what we should be doing is, because this is okay, this is what first, okay, I made sense in my own brain. My brain was broken for a minute there. The host calls this. The host says, hey, I need to spawn a player. This is the actor number, this is where I'm going to put them, and this is the team they're on. That's their default spot. So that's where I'm going to go. And then when we move them, that is a different class, because this is just spawning them in. With that said, we need to do some things that the spawning it does as well. So we also need to do update gravity and move to new node. Actually, yeah, this is going to be super easy. So right now, when we move to new node, we're only setting position, but we also need to, oops, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, let's go back. We want to update gravity. What does move player to new node do? Oh, that's just that. So we need to update gravity. And that is inside of this script. What does it want? It wants the spawn point? Really? You need the... Can't just get the position? Of course not. Of course not. Okay, so we need the ID, unfortunately. So... I might actually move this out of here and put it inside of this, because this is what gets called when we move. So we say we move them, and then... Because this one actually has a reference to the spawn point, which is nice. Okay, so does upgrade gravity handle rotation? It does. We can see rotations right there. Okay, cool. So that's fixed. I'm confident in that I don't necessarily need to test it. I will, but I'm pretty confident that that will resolve one of our issues. So that should be resolved now. Let's have you get auto-launched if you are on a spawn point when time expires. That actually won't be as hard to do as I was thinking, because we have a check, or a bool that says raccoon is launched. And we can just say on complete if that's still false. Let's make sure actually that does get set to true. You're set to true in raccoon launch physics. Which should for sure be set, because otherwise we wouldn't see it go flying. So in game state manager, where are you, game state manager? we need to do a check for all the current players when time expires. So one of the harder part's going to get all the active players, because those are by actor numbers and not actual references to the players. So I think what I'll do is I'll just search for that script, and I'll say, look for every single basically player movement script, and check every single one. And if any of them have not launched, then launch them every time timer expires. And that should work correctly. So now we just need to find the right place to put that. We start the round, we fill the meter. So this is where our meter is getting filled during this while loop. And then basically once the meter is complete is when we get out of that while loop. And if we're in the heist stage, we print things like turns, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, like almost there's, because I have been thinking a lot about how do we reincorporate the concept of sequence, because I think that's one of the key verbs in a heist. It's like, okay, this happens and then this happens, and then we sneak by the guard, but then don't turn this thing on until after the guard looks that way. And so maybe there's some kind of like timing perk or benefit to your launch. That could be cool. All right, so here is a good place to probably check if round is complete, but we need to find all of our, this is pretty messy, but whatever. Playback, gyro movement, player logic, collection equals I'm trying to think if I need to store this. It's not going to get called super often, so I think it'll be fine. Fine for prototype code for sure. Find objects by type. Yeah, it'll get called every like 5 seconds, only in this one mode. So yeah, this is actually like just totally fine. Player logic, find objects by type, and there'll never be more than like 6 to 10 of these things it can find. So it'll get expensive, I guess, if the scene gets really massive and there's like a bajillion objects and it's having to search through a lot. Why didn't I like what I did? Oh yeah, I always forget the freaking sorting order. And it never helps me well with the auto correction or with the autocomplete. There it is. It's like way down here. It's like that's the only thing it wants, but it's below all of that. Okay. So cool. Now we have the collection, and we would say, you know, I should make this its own little method. Private void launch raccoons who didn't go fast enough. That's such a dumb method name. That'll be a little more readable though, at least. All right, so we get all the players, and then we say for each. We will say name is player. Say player dot launch. I'm pretty sure I have some way to launch as a public. Let's find it. Let's try now if you hit, okay, debug player launch. We can just do that. You just roll out of your spot in a real boring, lame way, and that's what happens. For now, I do like the idea of like the kind of spin out or lazy raccoon. That's fun. But for today, we will just do that. Do you need an argument? Oh, it's private? Let's make that public. Yeah, that looks like that should work. Oh, that would launch every player regardless. But we would want to say if player.raccoon has launched, if they have not launched. So it'll be only players who are still on spawn, because the moment you launch, you're not on spawn. Then we do debug player launch, and I think debug player launch, does this also set it to true? It does. Sweet. So I feel like that should totally work. So that should fix our second thing. So now there's just the question of didn't get enough turns, which maybe I was mistaken. I think maybe I want to double check that one more time, and maybe keep a better eye on like how many turns I actually got. We need to block the UI when it's not your turn, and then the other thing that's kind of unrelated, but we need to programmatically get all players, or how about probably get player counts? Because currently I'm just telling it that there's 6 players, and that's not great. And so, yeah. We have an internal playtest tomorrow with the team. So for tomorrow, I could just hard code it, be like, hey, 7 of you can play, and I could just type in 7 before I hit run. But yeah, it'd be nice to fix that. Okay, so which one is worth fixing tonight? It's almost 10. Didn't give enough turns would be kind of nice to fix, and then maybe programmatically get player count. Let's start with the turns. Let's see how the turns works and looks when I'm keeping better track. There's vacuuming in the other room. One sec. Okay. I don't know if it actually was going to get picked up by the mic, but... We were just talking about priorities today during one of our meetings, that some people like actually really rely on those. It just depends, I think, on like the type of engineer. That some people like really just want, like, tell me what you need me to do and tell me how important it is. I'm the opposite. I tend to like want the freedom to like look at the project and like make some choices. So even on my own, like we use Monday. I should totally pull up Monday at some point. And most of the time we never use priority numbers or any kind of prioritization. That's funny. On weekends, like when I'm planning my days off, like a Saturday, I'm like, okay, I have the whole day. I can do whatever I want. I'll sometimes like set priorities of like, here's the things I really want to get done today. I'll like number them. And so, yeah, I don't do that for work, but I do it for personal life. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it's like because you have more confidence that you will make good choices. Oh yeah, we're running. That's what we're doing. We're running the thing. Are you zoomed in? Oh, there we go. WGP. Okie dokie. See who goes first. There's VO that plays. That's like placeholder VO. That's where there's those like gaps between texts and numbers. All right, 5 versus 2. I'm not going to hit anything. And these 2 should auto launch when that hits 0 if it works correctly. Yeah. That feels good. What's nice now is like you could totally play this single player if we like start adding some like very low intelligent like skill selection. Like, okay, clearly it should be red, yellow, or red or yellow. So just pick one of those. Wow, I have really horrible luck. Or did I not get in? I feel like it's gone through all the players. Oh, was I just not paying attention? I think I totally had a turn because I see one named Jim out there. All right, so let's say it's one turn. So we're in round 2 now. Okay, let's see. I should be up this time, I think. Oh, it's not printing my name. And it's not working. Oh, man. What did we break? What the heck? It was totally working. Okay, I broke something. Because most of the time when I think just it's being weird, it's totally user error. I don't see any errors, though. I'm trying to think through... what I would have changed that would have made my inputs not work anymore. Because I don't think we did the actor number. I think we changed the actors and that fixed it. Maybe I just need to make the source trees merged again. Maybe there's like a change that needs to be present on both. Being able to sequence breaks with a heavy raccoon able to bounce the lighter raccoons would be... Yeah, totally. Oh, interesting. But then I wonder where my name would show up on the avatar, but not in the player list. Like, that was kind of weird. Like, it showed my name, so it, like, found me, but then I don't know. That was odd. I'm skimming through... I'll look through all my random errors and see if one of them is relevant. Yeah, none of those seem relevant. Let's go back to what we changed. We messed with the rotation. We auto-launched if time expired. I don't feel like either of those could have been it, but I'm going to do a quick skim on the auto launch. So this gets called before we enumerate the turn, before we check if the round is complete. I'm just seeing if I can move this down further and lower. It does it before we transition to the next state. Yeah, I mean, I think where it's at is right. Because it's right after the time expires. And all this does is it just launches the player. Oh, also this has changed. It's not saved. That's concerning. Because yeah, like the text never showed up on the player versus player. Let me just do source tree and just merge everything. Maybe something wacky happened. Let's just be safe. All right, so we're gonna push the game state manager, player, all these three. And we will say fixed rotation and auto launch slow players. pull from here. There could also be a chance that it disconnected. Actually, that would maybe make sense, because if it was disconnected, it wouldn't have found real player names. Though I would think that maybe the name wouldn't be over the raccoon as well, but that actually does seem like a plausible thing. Okay, this one, there's no changes that I can see, but we're pulling. At least no meaningful changes. Okay, so yeah, maybe it just disconnected. But now we've synced the source tree, and we can try again. Okay. All right, let's see who comes first. Player 1 versus player 4. I do see my name, and it is changing. Oh, I can't release the rack. Oh, I was just too slow. Okay. So the only thing that didn't work was the name on the bottom there. So I got 1 round. All right, so let's remember we have 1 round. That did work. I was the first to go of the round. This isn't totally in the way. All right, so this should be the last turn of the round, because there's 6 players, so there's 3 turns per round. So I should be up next. Okay, I am there. I need to quickly, I'm going to move to spot 10. Oh, I think I bumped. That was weird, actually. I don't know. Okay, there's clearly not enough time. I can't click through fast enough to even get. Okay, so that's actually good feedback. Like, we need like twice as much time at least. But let's check one thing at a time. So I got to go twice. We are in round 2. Could have been. Yeah, maybe the drag got buffered. Like right now I want to get out of the screen to get ready, but I have to wait. Oh, there we go. All right, so I should be up next. I think it skipped round 3. I think we went from round 2 to round 4. But either way, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to be at 7. I'm going to pick a skill. I'm going to, yeah, it just, oh wait, we both launched the moment, I wonder if it's when the moment I clicked the green button. I don't think I have anything that should allow it to be buffered, but I could be mistaken. Okay, so it did seem like it skipped round 3. It went from 2 to 4, which is kind of actually super weird, because I don't know what I would have written that would make that happen. Okay, so let's check what happens when we click that green button. Maybe it's sending a command. Because the timing was weird. I do need to kill more goats, probably. I think that more sacrificial goats is probably the solution to most of my problems. Let's see. So if we go back here and we look at player side node manager, this is the one that when we click a button, it does submit position to host. Oh, that's what we do when we do the green button, but we want, or sorry, the green circle buttons. We want the release raccoon button. It does. Oh, raccoon. Yeah. Raccoon launch button. That sounds like a thing we do not want to do. But player side node manager, raccoon launch button. Where are you at? We just turn a thing off. Oh no, it's commented out. So we are not launching with that button. Okay, so it wasn't that. Let's see how the launch works to see if it could be buffered, but I don't know. I don't think it would have been because it's like a single, like a one-shot command. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the other canvas. I think it's this one. Yeah, okay. Actually, I don't even need it visibly on. I can just look at the script. You know what it might have been? Is it might have been the script that is auto-launching. Well, but the time wasn't expired. But I think it could be connected to that because they felt like they were just auto-launching. It was just hard to tell at what point they did. All right, so fire cannon is what is the launch. Yeah, it's a single command, but maybe it's like if I'm just tapping the screen, it's calling it prematurely. Okay, so when touch is canceled, which is kind of weird, I feel like it should be unended, but it's been working so far and nothing's under-ended, so that's interesting. But okay, so that's one place it's called. And then it's also called, what? Why would I do it on mouse as well? That's weird. But it's been mostly working fine. It's something to do with the network. Making the auto launch go at some insane speed. Oh, that's a good call. Yeah, we could just debug that. Yeah, we can totally do auto launch at a fast speed. Because that actually is a value I have in the prefab. So it's using their debug launch speed. Well, maybe I'll set it in the code just to be, so I don't have to change this later. Oh, I'm in that point where I don't know which solution's attached to which instance. Let's go here, and then let's just open it from here. Okay, so debug launch player. Oh, well, it's going to be the same thing either way because this is the same one that the button calls. Yeah, so I might as well just do it in the prefab at that point. Debug launch power. Okay, so yeah, currently it's at 0, which is just the fall speed. So we can set it to 2, which will make it launch real fast. So everyone who doesn't go is going to get zooped through the level. And zoop is a very technical term. I always like to try to push at least like one thing that I think could have fixed it, and I don't know if I did that time. I feel like I just put the test. right. And then I don't think I ever found out why the players aren't printing. So that'll be, the names suddenly aren't working, but which is so weird because it was totally working before. Okay, player one, I am player one. Okay, that was my normal launch. Went well. First round. And you saw that one went faster, the computer player. So let's keep an eye on also round number. I think so we're on round 1, it'll go to 2. And then we'll see if it goes to 3 or straight to 4. The names will be important though, because you won't know your player 2. Like you have no concept of being 2. So I do need to get that working again. $10. Oh, okay. So the moment I moved, some weird things happened. And now I have this like extra raccoon that should not be there. Oh yeah, now I'm able to just like launch randomly by moving. Maybe he's not set to launched. Let's see. So if I click on him and I go down to his script, did he somehow get launched without getting his variable set? No, it says he's launched. So then why am I able to move him around? That might actually be easy to debug, because if I can just keep moving him, we could just look at what allows the movement. And like whenever I call player side node manager, and I click on one of those buttons, it does the submit position to host. And we send current target node, and we send the actor number. Okay, now we want to make sure that they only move if they haven't launched before. So let's look at who listens to the launch command, or the move command, sorry. Which a new spawn point. That is our problem. So right now we say move to new spawn point. Are you the correct person we want to move? Find the objects and move there. But we don't want to do that, because what if they already launched? So it's taking all the existing players who are already in the scene and moving them back to spawn. And just that's causing all sorts of weird stuff. So we also need to say, and this player raccoon has not launched, because you can't move the player if they've already launched. Sweet, that should fix that. That won't fix our naming issue though, so we need to look into that really quick. That would be under the game state manager. Okay, so we're getting the nicknames of these players. We're passing them these values. Are these supposed to be their actor numbers? Because I wonder if I should just raise these up by 1. But you would think that at some point I would have... No, because that's in the array. So it would be like -1 or something like that. Because if this is like this item in this array, because this is an array of ints, so if it's like, hey, this is your player 5, I actually want you to be player 4. But these should be accurate. No, they wouldn't be. Yeah, they wouldn't be. I think it needs to be up by 1. I still think by chance I would have seen my name because it would have eventually found it, but maybe there's enough checks that it would have like, nope, you're not actually the right one, so get out of here. Okay. I think that'll fix it. Because these are one indexed. Sorry, like it's kind of confusing because you can clearly see it's 0 indexed, but like the values inside of this array are 1 indexed. The first index is 1. They're jumbled, their order, but like the lowest number this index can, or this collection can have, is 1. But 1 is actually the host, and no player is ever 1. So I think by raising them all by 1, it becomes 2 indexed, which is a weird thing to say and not a normal thing. But yeah, we want everything to be 2 indexed. I think that will fix that. My only fear is that I'm on the wrong instance of Unity. Maybe just to be safe, I will. Was my mouse dying, or no? My computer's just struggling. Let me get these two because I was kind of willy nilly there on who is who. All right, so game scene. It doesn't actually look like there's any script changes to WebGL. So maybe it's all on the host side. So let's push that. Just say fixing. What bug do we just fix? Fixing movement. Remove bug. Sure. It's not remove, it's remove. The prefab. I'm not going to push that change. That did help us see, but I actually don't think I care for them to have that change. I'm going to discard that super fast launch. Okay, push that. And pull it down here. While that's doing that, we can start hitting play on our various things. And eventually I want, like right now, once you spawn in, you can like jump to the other side's spawn points. I think we'll just do, like a house rule, like, hey, don't do that. And then if it feels restrictive, like, no, I want to be anywhere, then we'll have to figure that out. But I don't think I have time before tomorrow to code that in. Okay. Who do we got spawning in? Hopefully I'm not the first turn again, because it keeps... If it is again, that's really weird luck, that 3 times in a row. Yeah, it doesn't look like it did the name, unfortunately, so... That's too bad. It was totally working earlier, and now I broke it somehow. I do need to remember to extend the time, though. It's 15 seconds currently, and it's just not enough time. Oh, I'm in. I don't have enough time. Oh, I hit that door. That was pretty skilled. Okay, we're on round 2. The next number we would want to see is round 3, but I have a hunch it's going to say 4. I want to be the scout next time, because the scout's going to be able to reveal. Oh, it's not my turn yet. Thought it was going to be. Yeah, round 4. And then round 4 is the end. I think it determines... Oh, wait, no. I'm in. Oh, no. What? Why can't I? That was weird. I don't know why I could. I think you have to do it in order. You have to pick your spot and then pick your class. Yeah, so there's some weird round stuff. I went 3 times instead of being able to go 4. So writing down the issues we saw, we fixed the rotation for sure. I haven't seen that a single time become an issue. We got the auto launch working. We still aren't getting enough turns. We're not blocking. We're not programmatically getting player count. The biggest issue there was just the time to launch, which is so fast. It was like overwhelming, and I wanted to have like way more rounds and way more turns. I can just increase those numbers. I'll do that really quick before signing off here for the night. So that would be under game scene. So this would be a good example of like where we'd want this in a scriptable object. But for now, it lives here on total players in game. I actually should move it to there. I think it's on game state manager. Level player turned. Oh, it's 10 seconds. Let's set that to 30. Which might be slow, but that felt crazy fast. So I think I would rather err on the side of cautious. And then there was something else. Oh yeah, round number. I think that's hard coded, which we might as well just fix really quick. That's an easy thing to shift. So yeah, total number of rounds is hard-coded to 4. I would kind of like to know why. Let's see if it's obvious, like why that is skipping 3, which is such a weird thing. So we're printing it there. We're saying if current number of rounds is less than the number of rounds, what does current round start at? Does it start at 1 or 0? Current round starts at 1. I think I need this to be less than or equal to total number of rounds. Then we go again. Because on the 4th round, we still want to go again. But that wouldn't change why we skip the number print. So where are we printing a current round text? Is this the only place that we're touching it? Check for round complete. Oh, okay. We might be doing this in 2 places. It looks like we are, which is dumb. So we're printing the current round there, and then check if round complete. We also why would we enumerate it there? I don't think we need to do this. I'm trying to think of why. Okay. Consider round complete when both teams finish. So then maybe I don't want to do it here. I'm basically doing it in 2 places, and I'm not sure which one I want to keep. I'm going to go with... Does this only work if you hit the end of the round? Okay, so you wouldn't enumerate unless you were here. But that's when both teams go. Yeah, I mean, we should be able to just take out this then. Let's just comment it out just to be on the safe side. To me, this feels like if it's single player, and then this one feels like if it's teams. Because this very specifically does the team. So maybe actually just saying like if team game settings dot team mode. And then let's actually So that's only if it's team mode will do that. Else, it will do this. See, this seems weird though, because now we're not transitioning to the next state. You know, I don't want to mess with all that. Let's just keep it simple for now. And let's just remove this for the time being. Because I think we're only going to be doing teams. Yeah, let's just see what happens there. There's a chance that this would break it in when you have the teams unchecked. But I guess would it break? Shoot, yeah, I think it will. I'm gonna have to figure this out before, because otherwise it'll break one of the things. It's just the order of operations is really important here, and it's not very readable as it currently sits. So this is after the round ends, right? Because this is the time expires. I'm like, okay, the time has expired. So are we on the final round? Let's just get rid of these prints too, because these are also making it kind of muddy. So we launched the raccoons who basically didn't take their turn. We enumerate up the current turn index. And we use that current turn index. Do we use it in here as well? That's the team one. Current round number is checked there. Do we check the current round on that one? So it's interesting, this one doesn't actually check the round at all. This one only checks, it only enumerates up. So it'll never tell you if you're done. So that just says, hey, go up. But we don't have like, hey, the game is complete. So what's happening is like that's numerating up. And then the reason why it's jumping probably past 3 is then it decides that this was true. Because I think this previously was like that. So it decides that this was true. And so then it quickly updated it to that. So I think by simply just letting this go on more, we could be okay as it currently sits. Though this would never work if it's not in team mode though. So we should do that. But I'm trying to think of why we'd want to enumerate it here as well. Current round number is less than the total number of rounds. So that would be true every time. So I wasn't skipping a lot more numbers. Maybe we'll just put these both in this check because it reads more clearly. So check for round complete. So this would be if team mode. So this is how we check if a round is complete in team mode. Else, if we're not in team mode, then we check, what was it, current round. If current round number is less than the total number of rounds. Then we increase it. We print what it is. Do we need to do anything else? I mean, this checks if a round is complete, not if the game is complete. So then this is no longer, this is just saying, hey, is the game, because if we hit the more rounds than we're supposed to, we don't transition to the next state. So actually, we don't need to be checking if that's true at all. Because this is like, hey, every time both players go, I think it's some of these variable names are mixing up between rounds and turns. I think that's where it's getting funky. Because with current turn index, and is that checked on round complete? Yeah, so here we're checking turn indexes. And when the turn indexes are in a certain position, then we increase the round. Here, we're checking total before end of game. We don't want that. We want if current turn index is greater than or equal to total turns, is there? Total players in game, yeah. Then we increase the round. It is interesting how we're doing +1, so I probably should do that here. Okay, so now that'll update the round. Now this next check, this is checking if game is over. So we should probably make a new method for that. Okay, so now we want to check. So completed, so then we can move this. Well, maybe we should return a true false there. Okay, so we check if all runs are completed, which would be this event. And to know that, we would do this check. Okay, so if the current number of rounds, that should be false then. Cool. So if all runs are completed, we transition to the next state. Otherwise, I think this already enumerates the round value, so we don't need to do that. Do we need to set the turn index to 0? I guess we do. It's kind of weird that that is only here for the single player one. I think in that case I'm going, well, I guess that was for both. So we'll do turn index 0. We don't need to enumerate, we don't need to print. So I think we will, oh, and then we do need to transition to next state. It's weird that was before, but okay, sure. And then this can all be removed. Okay, it's getting a little more readable. Still a little bit messy, but let's just see if the rounds print. Oh, good. Okay, I'm not the first round because I was thinking there was an issue with the randomization, but oh, but now we have to wait 30 seconds for it. Okay, so I'm in on this one. Go to 11. Gonna be a greaseman. We're gonna time it now. Yeah, that felt like a good amount of time. Okay, and then this should be round 2. After this one. I think this is the third turn. Okay, we're on round 2. I do think it'll be important to, like, if the players launch early, that this bar doesn't wait till the end, because it'll be annoying waiting for that. Okay, I'm gonna be in spot 11. I am gonna go for a scout. Ah, no, I missed the door. Boo. I couldn't tell if my scout power was working because I never got near. Oh, see, that person definitely has scout on, so, which they're such a none, so they should not. So something weird is happening there. You can tell because they're clearing out so much. Yeah, mine was not on. I think this next one will be round 3 after this turn. Okay, good. We didn't skip 3 that time. Okay, I should be up this next turn. Cool. Got a 10, 11. Yeah, the scout skill totally isn't working, which is annoying. I think it would actually be pretty easy to end this early. We can just like every second or so we just check if there's any existing raccoons that aren't launched, and if there aren't any, then we can go on to the next turn. All right, now hopefully we all get one more turn. Now we're in round 4. Okay, so far so good. So at the end of this round, though, it'll, I think, say 5, and at that point, hopefully we won't get anything. And in the future, I could just change it to say, like, game complete or something instead of round 5. Cool, got my turn. Ooh. That's an interesting bounce, like perfectly between those two. Okay, and then after this turn, it should launch it should end the game. Sweet. Okay, so the round thing was fixed, so that's great. Okay, well then I think I'm just making some notes real quick on like what. So that got fixed. Didn't get enough turns resolved. So names on verse aren't working. That's kind of important that gets fixed. A scout range isn't working on correct class. And we need to end timer early if players go. I think the names will be really important. The scout, I actually have one really quick place I can just look because I think I might know where that's at. Because I think there's a separate class that uses, that sets that value. Inside the Fog of War. Yeah, there's a skill-based revealer update. And we are doing, yeah, that's the problem right there, is that we did the +1 everywhere else. I think, was it +1 to the player ID? Yeah, I think it was. Okay, so that should fix the scout issue. And then the name issue is the other one that's important, but I'm not sure. I think I'll look at that with fresh eyes. Oh yeah, name, if ended early if a player has already gone, that might be as simple as just going in this while loop. Where's it at? Yeah, so first in here, yeah, let's check if players are done moving. We can just say, honestly, it's going to be a similar function to this. A private check if players have launched. I mean, really, that's what this is already doing. And if... So maybe we just set a bool post turn. Maybe say force launch. So if it's in force launch mode, then we are launching them. If not, what are we wanting to do? This is going to be, we end the timer. So that's true, it's a force launch. Yeah, I think for readability, actually, I will just do this. Oh, I know what I could do. We could rename this function. Call this check for all players launched. And we'll return a bool. And I'm going to put this here. And so if any, so if we go through all the players and if any have not launched, we would return false. Like if a single one hasn't launched, we return false. If it gets through all of that, then we can return true. Okay, so then here we can just say if all players have launched, if that comes back. Oh, but then we need the player specifically. Okay, yeah, let's just do it the other way. So that'll do a thing, and then the other thing we'll do is we'll say all players have launched. Okay, so then we would just launch this here. If all players have launched comes back true, we would then set the elapsed time equals state duration. So that would basically immediately end it. The only issue I have with that is that means every frame we are going to be finding all those by type, which I don't love. So let's do this. Ooh. Now we just get it at the beginning of the state duration or state routine one time, and then we loop through here, checking it every frame against that collection. And then that would force it. Okay. I want to check that to make sure it doesn't totally break things. Okay, I think spacebar auto launches them, so I think I can just hit that and test. I think I'll launch my one character though, just because I can. Okay, that's spacebar. Sweet. And that ended that. Now let's make sure that doesn't like totally break the sequence. Okay, so then we're going to pretend that they both go. If I hit spacebar, and it should immediately end this. Awesome. One final test, final turn. We can see if it enumerates after this group. Yeah, works wonderfully, except I need to make sure I can... That is such a weird bug. So for some reason, I think maybe if you hit the same spot you're on, or it's just 6 specifically. Yeah, he's marked as thrown. That is such a weird bug. I want to get another turn to see if that was just that one spot. Okay, let's see. I'm going to move to spot 2. Okay. Or try one more turn where I'm going to pick the same spot I spawn into, see if that's the problem. Okay, so I'm on spot 3. Spot 6 is the weird one. That is so strange that spot 6 just launches you. We're gonna make sure 6 doesn't have like an extra command on it. But everything else seems to be working right. No, it's the same command as everything else. All of these have the same. Yeah, I don't know what about that one spot causes an issue. Maybe there's like an object there, but I mean, it sets some different values, so I don't know. Either way, I think we are in a good spot now. Looking over the list, we now have, if you end early, the timer ends, or if you move, the timer ends, which is great. Keep the game going fast for people who want to go fast. I didn't test the scout range, so we don't know if that got fixed. The names are definitely not working, so I'm going to make a note somewhere more permanent for myself for that. And then programmatically gets player count. Cool. All right, I think that's a good place to stop for the night.